YouTube. So a lot of you guys ask me questions about, why are keto diets not burning body fat the way you think they are? I posed a question about this on Instagram a couple of times, and a lot of people were very thrown off by the answer I gave when I responded to them. So I'm going to use this in another video as well, but I want to talk about keto diets and the selling points of keto diets. So if someone's really selling you on a keto diet or a carnivore diet that you see on Twitter, they'll say things like fat doesn't make you fat, that carbs make you fat, carbs are what makes you insulin resistant, which is not true. That'll be in the next video. And they'll want you to buy their books. They'll want you to buy all their recipes and subscribe to their emails and all this stuff because they'll sell you on the point that if you're not giving your body carbohydrates to use for energy, well, it's got to use body fat for energy. And that's totally correct. It'll use body fat for energy. But you have to remember, fat is always being stored and burned at the same time. So it might use some of that fat for energy, but that doesn't mean all of it's gone. It might redistribute some of that, and some of that's going to go back as fat. And more than anything, it's the diet itself, right? So this is a typical low carb diet that I see from a lot of guys, about my size. And this is what they'd be eating: 200 grams of protein, carbs minimum 75 if not less, and then fats around 150. And I've seen some people go higher than that. So the reason keto diet doesn't work the way you think it works is, yes, you're burning a lot of fat, but you're also storing a lot of fat. Okay, less than 2% of adipose fat originates as carbohydrates, which tells you what most of it originates as fats. So if your diet is comprised with mostly fats, then you're just setting your body up to store more adipose fat, which comes back to this statement: you're burning a lot of fat, but you're also storing a lot of fat. So yeah, so that's not working the way you think it's working. It's not like you're just burning a lot of fat and that's the end of it. Okay. And then similar to a high carbohydrate diet, it's the flip side of that. On this diet, you're going to be burning little fat, but you're also going to be storing little fat. Okay. It's sort of flip flops there. But the thing that matters is the total calories. And these are the total calories of these two diets I have here set up. That's what's going to matter. And so with these two diets, you're probably going to be burning relatively the same amount of body fat. So this isn't equating for the thermo effect of food. Will add that in here. But you just have to remember that the energy balance, aka calories, determines the amount of fat you lose. It's not the macronutrients. And yeah, the protein, out of all these, protein is probably the one that's going to influence that the most, because your body uses a lot of calories to actually digest protein, which is calorie expenditure. So that is something to take into account. But just thinking about fats and carbs, it's not going to matter. The calories is what matters, and it's, can you stick to that diet? You need to pick the diet that you're going to adhere to. And with myself and a lot of my clients, I've found the best way to do it is to do both. A lot of people call it carb cycling, but for me personally, I like to do 4 or 5 days a week with a diet similar to this. And then the other days I do this. And it works out that way, not just for like my mental health, but just my lifestyle in general. I don't like to eat large amounts of carbs every single day. And a lot of times with this, you can see that this amount of fats, this isn't a lot of fats. And like personally, well, I probably enjoy them about equal, which lines up well with my lifestyle, I guess. Carb cycling, I can get a little bit of both. So remember that keto works quick visually, and high carbohydrate diet does not. So keto works visually very quickly because it's burning glycogen out of your muscles. So the more muscle tissue you have, obviously the more glycogen you can store. When you go on a keto diet, it's going to use that glycogen within those muscles as energy, and then it's going to shrink right up, right? So along with that, the things that are being stored when you have a lot of carbs and glycogen is, water retention, things like that. Not necessarily bad water retention, but people say, oh, I'm holding water. Yeah, you probably are. So when you do a low carbohydrate diet, whether it's a diet for this, a diet for a bodybuilding show or a photo shoot, and you lose all of that water weight really quickly and you look really good and ripped, you'll notice that it sort of stops working so much after like 10 to 14 days, around there. And then you're kind of like, well, I guess this diet just isn't working now. No, you just lost all that glycogen. So there's nothing to really worry about as far as that goes. But that's, keep in mind, remember, pick a diet you can adhere to. And if not, you will put the weight back on. Like that's a fact. So yeah, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions on a keto diet, please let me know. I hope this helps.